Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. Special welcoming, of course, goes out to new people. And for you, just a few words what we're trying to do here so you would know what to expect. What we're trying to do here is simply creating a plan for the week. So as traders like to say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. This way you get more organized and less impulsive in your trading. And as you know, in life in general, when we spend a little bit of time to organize our thoughts for the future actions, we could possibly get better results. Of course, no guarantee. Few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been trading for over 25 years. I started my career as a prop trader back in New York City in June of 2000. And after 11 years of doing so, I moved to a different way of trading, as I like to say, a less stressful environment, and also started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy I have a great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. So what we'll do here, the agenda is simply, we'll talk about indices, stocks, commodities, and Forex. We'll mix fundamentals with technicals. We'll go through a few titles of the articles that I've usually prepare. We'll take a look at economic calendar, and we'll just try to see what to expect from the upcoming trading week. And of course, before I forget, Monday is a Memorial Day in the States, so the markets are going to be closed. Some futures are trading short session. You can find the schedule for holiday trading on our website. Risk warning, you can find full statement at avatrade.com website. Of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades and we do not give any signals here. Social media channels, please feel free to subscribe to our Twitter, which is X, right? Telegram and the YouTube channel, as I usually say, it's my favorite. You have tons of information there. You have educational material, you have tutorials, you have webinars, including this one. You have a lot of information at your service there, and feel free to utilize it. Okay. Before we go through the slides and everything else, we finished August, and usually August would be a very slow, some traders like to call it a dead month, especially the second half of it. And of course, with Trump, it's never boring, and we did have some moves, of course, and we did finish August on a negative note. Friday was a little sell-off, followed by Thursday in the market. So we're starting September. Kids are back to school. Major brokers back to business, and we're back to full-scale trading. Just not on Monday, as I said, we're having a holiday in the US, so US markets are not going to be open on Monday. So Tuesday, it's back full-scale trading in the US. Okay, so I got some titles here from the articles from Barron's. So this one says, stocks end August on a down note, why investors should prepare for September swing. And it says right here, the stock market ended sweltering August on a sore note, signaling perhaps an early start to September swing. Investors should be ready to put cash to work. So they say that historically, September is the worst month for stocks. It's easy to list the reasons it could live up to its reputation, but investors are counting on Federal Reserve to save the day with the rate cut when it meets ends. When the meeting ends September 17th. So we all know we're getting there to the next meeting. We'll take a look where we're standing at the CME Fed's watch when we get there on the slides. The announcement comes on the 17th. This week we have NFP numbers before that, and next week we have CPI numbers before the decision. So those two numbers are very, very important. Now, NVIDIA, as we know, Wednesday it reported the stock went down, then Thursday was recovering, and Friday was sold again. It says right here, NVIDIA stock was falling on Friday while Wall Street was enthusiastic about the chip maker's earning report. Worries about an artificial intelligence bubble look to be holding back this stock. And this is very important, this paragraph here. And while NVIDIA is still hoping of being able to resume sales in China in future, other companies are looking to fill the gap. China's biggest cloud computing company, Alibaba, has developed a new AI chip to carry out a broader range of tasks than its previous in-house processors, according to Wall Street Journal. So it looks like China is finding their local resources to substitute for NVIDIA chips that are not getting to China. So we did have a slide on NVIDIA on Friday, down 3.32%. Now, here's another interesting employment-related article. Only a really big jobs report might stop the Feds from cutting interest rates. Don't count on it, right? As we know, it gives the number here. The U.S. economy added an average of only 35,000 new jobs from May through July, making the smallest 3 months increase since the pandemic in 2020. So it looks like there's not a threat of a big job report, right? Okay, here are the Feds. As of now, we have 86.4% probability for the rate cut when decision comes on the 17th of September. That's a big number, and it looks like market is already pricing in the rate cut coming up. All right, economic calendar. A few words for new people just to explain what this is. Public information, you can access it on our web trader or the mobile app, or just Google it. It's available through a lot of resources or sources. I think every trader should know these things, especially the high impact events. That's why I take out only high impact events only. You can browse through it, filter through things, see what's relevant for your trading. And the reason being we should know all these things so we as traders shouldn't be caught by surprise by certain spikes in the market, something that we could have expected if we knew about the economic calendar. So it is important. So let's go through it really quick. Sunday, which is today, we have a manufacturing PMI. I think these numbers already came out. I was preparing it earlier, the economic calendar slide. On Monday, we have another PMI from China. ECB President Lagarde speaking on Monday. Tuesday, we have CPI numbers from European Union, manufacturing PMI from US. Wednesday, GDP numbers from Australia, service PMI from China. We have Governor of Bank of Australia speaking on Wednesday, and another speech by Lagarde, President of ECB. That's a second, right? A speech of the Governor of ECB. Thursday, we have trade balance from Australia, consumer price index, inflation number from Switzerland, retail sales from European Union, and we have ADP numbers coming up. So usually it's on Wednesday, I believe, maybe because of the short week and the holiday on Monday, they moved it to Thursday. I think ADP employment usually comes on Wednesday. So this week it's on Thursday, unless it's a mistake here. Service PMI numbers from US as well on Thursday. And the highlight of the week, the most important thing of the month usually, it happens first Friday of the month, and it's the NFP numbers. Together with unemployment and so on from US, and also the unemployment and employment number from Canada. So NFPs, the highlight, other numbers are also important, but the NFP is the most important. And like I said, together with the CPI numbers the following week, I will be prepared for the Fed's decision, which according Mr. Powell or Chair Powell, their decisions are data driven. So they pay attention to decision and to data, and they make their decisions based on that. So let's see what happens. Now, as usual, we'll take a look at the winners and the losers in the commodities. We'll, when we get to the charts, we'll go one by one, just run through the numbers now. Natural gas up 771, silver up 3%, gold up 286, corn up 207, coffee 151, wheat 123, and copper 111. To the downside, for the past week, we had cotton down to 18, palladium down 153, and the energy slid a little bit. Heating oil down 148, and gasoline down 113. So these are the winners and the losers for the past week, and we'll go through them when we get to the charts. All right, let's move to the charts. And we start, as usual, with indices. We start with China. China's recovering nicely. If you remember, the moment we broke through this channel around 13.7, 13.800, we've been running pretty much. On Wednesday, we sold here. And then Thursday and Friday, we recovered that selling. And China looks very interesting, very strong here. If you take a look at the weekly chart, we had 4 consecutive weeks to the upside, and we might be continuing to catch up with the previous resistance here above 15,000, actually above 16,000 we hit there. There was a month of October of last year. That's about 11 months ago. So that's China. Continuing with Asia, Japanese index is sliding after making highs here. As you could see on the daily chart, we keep on making lower highs and lower lows, creating pretty much descending channel here. As you could see clearly, Friday was a strong sell-off here, erasing the previous move to the upside on Thursday. Now moving to US indices, as we said, market finished the month with the downside move. Friday was sold on S&Ps, erasing the Thursday's move. And Nasdaq suffer more with Nvidia and AI related stocks selling off, but we still are we are above well above the 50-day moving average here. All right, and Dow Jones actually holding stronger than the other two. We had a little bit of a sell-off on Friday. Let's see. The opening price was 45,652 and the closing 637. So only 15 points sell-off. It holds very, very nicely here. Germany is selling. But the last 3 days of the week been trading below 50-day moving average, currently between the 50 and 100 here. If we continue sliding here, this area could be our next support. And UK as well, slowly sliding lower after making all-time highs and being the strongest lately, as you could see here. So I guess next indication is the low of this candle here from August 20th, 91.87.5. Let's mark that right here. This could be our indication. If we do break below this candle, start building up a new resistance here, we might be traveling further south on a UK index. So that's as far as indices, right? So we did, as we said, Friday was a sell-off across the board. Not a very good sign ending the August. But you never know. It could be the investors and traders just didn't want to stay long over the long weekend. As we said, Monday the markets are going to be closed, and also other uncertainties with the markets. So that's as far as indices. Moving to stocks. Let's start with NVIDIA actually. Where's NVIDIA? Here we go. All right, as you could see here clearly, this was the Thursday trading after the earnings, where the spike up and down, ending up almost flat on that day. And Thursday, after the traders digested the whole idea with its continuous sliding here, and we're still about the 50-day moving average here. So we could be testing that before anything else. So that's on NVIDIA. Now also Tesla, if you follow the news, there's some court filing by ECC. It's not related to Tesla stocks. It's against Musk and the whole Twitter deal, not filing on time for purchasing the shares. And somehow it did affect Tesla. We had 3 days to the downside. Friday, a stronger sell-off together with the market selling off, of course. So we're still about the 250 and 100 moving averages here. Let's see how those things are working out. Intel. We spoke about Intel and the government buying 10% of Intel. If you take a look at the shares, we did have a nice run here, and we actually are holding nicely above the previous resistance here, right? So it looks like the resistance from July 10th to be specific, it became or becomes new support for Intel. And if we hold here, it could be consolidation or accumulation. So you could see this channel was going on for a while. Since that sell-off a year ago, actually more than a year ago. We've been channeling for a while. A lot of accumulation happened here. We spoke about it a few times, if you remember, that the book value is around 19 something, $20 maybe. And a lot of actions happen here. Finally, we broke through that channel and we are building a new support around $24 here, right? So let's see how that develops. Let's take a look at the Magnificent Seven, actually, how they do. Apple, so we know in about a week, I think more than a week, they announce new products and reveal new products, including the iPhone and others. The conference in California usually happens on September of each year. So as of now, we are below the previous resistance and above the previous support. So we are trading this channel here. Amazon, we did have a sell-off here that was back in beginning of August. So the whole month we were trying to recover it, almost recovered that fall. Microsoft doesn't look so healthy for some reason. We're sitting, hugging that 50-day moving average here after making all-time high here. So this level here around 505 has been holding for a while. Google, on the other hand, is super strong as the AI projects are more positive than Apple, to say the least. And the stock has been super strong here. I think we're trading at the all-time highs. Yep, Google out of the whole group is the strongest. Meta, after making all-time highs here, we are testing the 50-day moving average here. Last time when we touched it, we moved higher. This time we tested again around 738. Tesla was said has been selling, approaching the 200-day moving average here. Let's take a quick look at oil stocks, as oil had a little bit move to the upside. Exxon had a nice move to the upside after consolidation here, accumulation, you could say, from 106 area to 114. And Chevron as well moved higher. Also on Chevron here, we see something they called a golden cross when 50-day moving average crosses above the 200. Some traders use it as a buy signal. Okay, and let's take a quick look at the banks, see what they do. Goldman is holding at the highs. JP Morgan also doing a double top here on the daily chart at the current levels. And these are the all-time highs. So the banks are holding strong. Bank of America at the all-time high. If you remember, I had a little bit of a hard time when Warren Buffett announced that he's unloading the Bank of America. And lately it's actually the strongest in the group, making all-time highs here. Citigroup as well looks strong. So the banking sector still looks strong. So I guess the market has no panic yet to the downside. Okay, and two more, which we'll take a look at two ETFs that sometimes we'll look at. This is the SQQQs, as you can see here, ProShare Ultra Short QQQs. That goes against the NASDAQ. When NASDAQ goes up, SQQQ ETF sells and vice versa. So we did have a sell-off as NASDAQ was strong, and then Friday, as you could see here, it popped up on the selling NASDAQ, and we are forming, it's not confirmed yet, if we do break the previous high, we could be showing maybe a change of trend. So if we do break this level here from the 20th of August, which is 1895, and we establish the higher high here, this would be a higher low, and we might be moving higher. Also at that point, we might be breaking the 50-day moving average. So this is on SQQQs. And the other one is UVXY, to represent the VIX. Same thing as the VIX were going lower. This ETF was going lower, and we had a little pop here on Friday. Let's see if that is the beginning of the turning of the trend, or we're still sliding lower. That's it with individual stocks. We'll move to commodities now, and we'll go through the winners and losers for the week, starting with natural gas. As you could see here, natural gas had a nice move every single day of the week. We were in green, still below the 50-day moving average, so that could be our target. And we came to the strategic level of $3 here, right? So that's natural gas, up 7.71 for the week. Silver had a nice run, just broke through the previous high, clearly, closing strongly. And we have a volume growing as well, so this is a legitimate move. It looks like it. Gold as well. With the market uncertainty, we had another run this week. We had 4 consecutive days to the upside, and we are right at the resistance from mid-June right there, right? And that's closing, I think, at all-time high closing. We did have a move higher, but we didn't close. Let's see, it's very interesting. So the closing here was 3,444, and this one is 304.47. Yes, we are officially in an all-time high by the closing price, right? We did reach higher here. So gold, super strong. The question is, will the buyers push through? Will the stop orders help accelerate that push to the upside? Or we might be facing the resistance and correction to the downside. I guess we'll find out soon, right? And of course, the upcoming interest rate decision will be affecting gold as well. So gold was strong to 86, Corn, this was the change of contracts. I believe it did continue high here. So corn was strong. Coffee, strong as well. If you remember, we spoke about it last week, pretty much every week. If you remember the idea that I shared with you, with Brazil being set with 50% tariffs, my idea was the coffee could be running higher. It did. It wasn't an easy trade for anybody, I'm sure, but we did have a lot of accumulation here before we shoot up, and this up move was super, super strong. So that's on coffee, continues stronger. Wheat, another representative of grains, also with the gap, the new contract will continue higher. And copper as well is trying to recover after this drop. Just to remind us, this was the move when Trump said tariffs on copper, and this was the opposite move, and he said that it only applies to the product made of copper, but not the raw copper. And then we had a move that erased weeks of this buildup. And finally, after a lot of consolidation here, it looks like we are moving higher, 2 consecutive days, breaking the previous high here. And up 1.11%. Of course, move of China higher also helping that. And just to remind us what I usually say with China, 4 instruments are being affected with China index. That's copper, crude oil, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar, as they are being used broadly in China. When I mean Australian and New Zealand dollar, the products that China is buying, that's why those two currencies are called commodity currencies, are selling a lot of goods to China. That's why they're being affected. All right, to the negative side, we had cotton selling, looking weak here. We might be coming lower to retest the 64 area here. Palladium as well, selling was sitting on the 100-day moving average here, but we're still holding this support around 1,104, as you could see here. On the weekly chart, it did have a negative week, but the daily chart, we keep on fighting, trying to break this level. Take a look how many tails, and we are holding up. There could be a sign of possible reversal. As you see here, we're rounding up a little bit. It could be, as we couldn't break. We didn't have a closing below this price for a long time, and they are pushing it lower and failing it. So we should be watching palladium on possible bounce to the upside, unless we break lower and start showing some price action below that price, 1,104. Heating oil was down as well. We broke the 200-day moving average and 100. It looks like we could be pushing lower here. And gasoline as well. This was a new contract in gasoline, and we close to that support here when they had a lot of actions around this level, 193. All right, moving to Forex, we'll start with dollar index. Dollar index is just waiting for that interest rate decision, I guess. Take a look. They did push it lower. We had a lot of fighting here, and we're holding this 97.40s, sitting, hugging that 50-day moving average, not moving any lower, no moving higher. So we want to see that decision definitely on the 17th and see how things will work out. Of course, before that, we have NFPs and CPI, which might give an idea, or maybe changing the perspective of the traders, maybe supporting it. Let's take a look. Now, USD CAD with oil pumping or popping up a little bit. We did have a sell-off on a dollar CAD, sitting here right on the stick of 50 and 100-day moving averages here. As we said, Australian and New Zealand dollar moving higher on that Chinese move. this could be very interesting. As you could see here, this is the reason I always suggest to traders to see a bigger picture. I'll explain what I mean. Take a look. This channel has been going for a while, right? The moment we entered, that was back in April. We've been channeling for a while, trying to break out, coming right back, and we did establish a new low here, right? Based on this double bottom here. And then we test again the top. We confirm the previous support, so we kind of pushed high on the support, but resistance is still holding. So as of now, after this week, we had pretty much a nice move to the upside. So we're facing possibly another attempt to break through the highs. So daily chart looks, yes, with the strong resistance. Now take a look. The weekly chart also, it looks like, okay, we'll be channeling for a while. We might be continuing, but take a look what's happening on the monthly chart. The whole perspective is changing, right? We trying, this is the third month we're in a tight range here, and we're trying to break through. And if we do, we'll have a big move to the next resistance and possibly further up. So that's why it's important to zoom out. Similar situation, New Zealand dollars, you could see here, we've been playing with the 200-day moving average here. And if you zoom out weekly, and here comes the monthly, it looks weaker than Australian, but it has a possibility of moving higher as well. All right, so that's on Australian and New Zealand. Here comes dollar Swiss. It looks pretty much as the dollar index, been hugging this 50-day moving average here. And let's take a quick look on dollar yen. Dollar yen, as you could see, we have descending 200-day moving average and ascending 50. We're trading below the 50-day moving average here. It looks like the 50-day moving average trying to catch up with the 200 and cross it. I guess we'll find out soon. And we are holding the support here. You can, wrong line, amend the horizontal. Here we go. So it looks like approximately this level around 146, 146 and a half is holding as support. We had the rejection here. We did a spike below, but closed the high here. So that's as far as FX. Moving to cryptos, they've been having a hard time, and the sell-off in the market on Friday didn't help it. Bitcoin went below 100 moving average here. We're trading at 109, 109,000 after being at 123 just 2 weeks ago. So we are between 100 and a 200-day moving averages here. XRP also dived below 3 again. Friday was a sell-off. Was a flat on Saturday and Sunday, as we're now watching it at 283. Our support, the recent attempt to break below, it's around 273. We didn't reach there yet this week, so let's see how that works out. Now, there's a lot of things all over social media on XRP, you know, how to become a millionaire and so on. A lot of positive hype there on social media. We'll see. And Ethereum as well, it's been holding nicely. Actually, it's holding stronger than Bitcoin and XRP. We have positive day on Saturday, and then today we pushing higher, trading at 44.71. Okay, so let's see what cryptos are doing next. All right, so I think that wraps up our review for the week. Again, let's just before I forget, again, to remind you, tomorrow the US markets are closed. Some futures are trading short session, but the exchanges are not going to be opening, so the US stocks are not going to be trading on Monday. Now, don't forget about social media. The highlight for the week is, of course, NFP, together with other events that you can look through on the economic calendar. We entering September. The last trading day of August was selling on the market. I guess we'll find out. Was it a turnaround or was it just normal profit taking, especially before the long weekend? So I want to wish everyone a good weekend. Get some energy, spend some quality time with your loved ones. Prepare yourself for the upcoming week. And I wish everyone a very successful trading week ahead. All the best. Take care.